What is going on, guys, and welcome to this amazing section about files in our programming language. So what I want us to understand before we dive into files is basically that using files as part of your development process is pretty much necessary, okay? In most of the things that you are going to work with, you're probably going to work with files. And whether these will be done using your programming language, for example, C, C++, or even Python. So basically, by learning the concepts of using files, even here in this course, you will be able to implement this knowledge also in other spheres, in other programming languages as well. So pay close attention because that's a very important topic. But before we move on and understand how the files work, I would like us to give it a little time, about 2-3 minutes, and to talk about what have we learned so far. So up until now, we've learned how to create different variables, how to use different loops. We've also talked about functions and so on and so forth, right? And in all of these steps or sections, we could have seen our program being run, but once it was completed, once the execution was finished, the program finished its execution process, we actually didn't get any chance to see something written anywhere except just this nice black console that we had, right? Where is it? This black console. And this console application is nice, but let me show you, for example. So here were our results so far. So up to this point, the only thing we knew how to do regarding printing the output somewhere, it was just displaying the output here on this nice little screen. But suppose that, for example, you have to write a program that prints all the numbers from 1 up to 50, and next to each number you have to print the square of this particular number. So how would you do it so far, right? We could have done it, let's say, something like this. So let's say int I, and then specify for I equals to 1 as long as I is less than 50. Let's go with I++, and just use something like this. So printf, the value of the number I and the value of the number multiplied by itself. So I and I multiplied by I. Okay? So in this case, if we would run it, basically everything would be printed to the screen and you could see something like this, right? So 2 multiplied by 2 is 4, 3 is 9, and so on and so forth, right? But the main question here is, let's say that sometime in the future you would like to see these results that you've calculated, although here is a very simple example, but let's say that later on you would like to see these results once again, okay? I don't know, maybe think of it as a situation where you are going to write some amazing program that does a lot of research for some topic, I don't know, biology or something like that. And then your program should calculate the result and come to some conclusions. For example, let's say that a program can tell you, or better say, your program will predict what will be the weather outside from this day up to, let's say, 7,000 years from now. Okay? Pretty cool program, but you've written this program, you run it, you wait a couple of hours to get the results done, right? Because your program is not just 2 lines. And then the results are being printed to the screen, just like we've done it right here. So you see the result, and then you come the next day, you recall that there is a vacation that you are planning to do next week, but you don't know what will be the weather. So what you have to do is basically run this program once again, wait for the results, and then compare it again. But the results are basically expected to be the same, so it would have been much better if we could take all of these results printed to this console application and basically to redirect this output stream, let's call it for now, like output stream of data being moved to the console application, instead of making this process, what we would like to do is to take all of this data and to put it in some file that will be stored for later on usage. Okay, so let's say some textual file that we will be able to take this information to put it there, and it will say, and it will be stored, let's say, on our hard drive. Okay, so that this way the printed result will still be on your computer even after you close the program and even after you will restart your computer. Okay, so now every time you would want to see the results that you've already devoted your time in to calculate them, you will simply open up this file without the need to wait until the calculations will be done once again, and basically work with the data, look at it, and do whatever you like. Okay? Pretty awesome, isn't it? So, there are also additional reasons for that, but one of them, a very useful reason, will be discussed in the following videos, but not all of them, of course, because we still need some time for the syntax and for the actual technical stuff, but we will get also additional details, additional examples. So this is very important, guys. Don't you dare falling asleep. I'll see you in the next videos.